I believe, and I think a lot of people have agreed with me, that women kind of run the Strip. They control the vibe. The majority of the revenue that's made on the Strip. You have men who are gambling and betting, but then and you call it the food and beverage, which is just nightclubs and restaurants and stuff. It's based off of the women's sex appeal, right? And if the women disappeared off of the Strip, nobody would come, right? No one's going to come to the Strip if it's just a bunch of bros betting on football and gambling their life away playing blackjack, right? The sex appeal of the women is like the main driver, in my opinion. And that's just echoed through restaurants, through the nightclubs, through strip clubs, right? Through different sex work, right? That's not just prostitution, right? It's just the whole variety, promo girls, models, things of that nature. And as the Strip eventually adopts more technology, you'll see social media influencers, you'll see regular podcasts popping up. Like there's ones at Win and there's ones at Circa in downtown. You'll start seeing these become more popularized and just have attractive women sitting there talking, and you'll have people that are hanging out, right? It's similar to when I was working at Omnia, the hip hop room. It's not supposed to be called the hip hop room. It's supposed to be called the open format room, but it always just digressed to like hip hop and rap.
Right. As it should, by the way.
As DJing became more popular, you started seeing these like celebrity Instagram influencers coming in and DJing, or these models where the music's not necessarily spot on, right? It's more just listening to like an iPod on repeat.
Right.
But the appeal of the attractive woman and her fans coming would fill the room up. It's crazy. And that always tends to be like the final outcome of every industry that's around like food and beverage, entertainment, and hospitality.
And so that feels so antiquated to 2022, right? When we're coming, like I can think of the last 5 years, like obviously huge argument and debate over whether it's the Me Too movement or equal pay or, Roe versus Wade being thrown out at the federal level. Like this idea that there's still a place in America where there's a huge multi-billion, maybe trillion-dollar industry all based around sex appeal and women and how you look. And it just seems so not 2022.
Well, if you look at it, and I've advocated this a lot, and I think it just becomes like more of the double standard. There is a heavy amount of prejudice against men on the Strip, right? The women can pretty much control everybody. You could say there's sexism towards it. Why do the women control my tips? Like, why do they get to have the final say on it, right? If this is every other industry, like women fighting for equal pay, it's kind of the same idea.
Right.
And it was because of the tradition that was set in the early days of it, right? Which is similar to just the normal day economy where the you call it the patriarchy or whatever you want, was set because men and the kind of the double standard and the like primal aspect of man supposed to be in power positions and feeding the family, that was set. And so they were always the ones who were making all the decisions in politics. And so that became kind of the traditional standard. And we're trying to move away from that for good intentions.
Right.
But on the Strip, there's no intention to move away from it, to move more power in the hands of the men controlling the tips. Like I've never seen one push for that.
Right. So you don't think we're going to get to a place in 2025, 2030 where all of a sudden there's a big double-chinned, hairy guy doing bottle service? Like, do you think Vegas will ever go woke where it's like, hey guys, we need a diversity quota so we can only have 42% hot Caucasian and Hispanic and Asian women, but we need 22% homosexual servers and we need 32% overweight servers? Like, do you think we'll ever get there because society will demand it, or is society completely happy to come to Vegas and be a hypocrite? And they're like, hey, I'm super woke and all about women empowerment back home, but when I'm in Vegas tipping $1,000 for a bottle of liquor, I want a really hot girl with double D's.
I think it's more of the latter. There will probably be specifically curated clubs over time. I think that those are also kind of aligned with the specific movements of women rights and gay rights and then trans rights and whatever follows after that. I think you'll eventually have these like just specific one-off clubs that'll kind of help assist with that.
Yeah. Resorts World will open like the woke club.
It's essentially. But just to the degree of Vegas, I realized after 10 years on the Strip of a pure party environment 5 days a week or close to that, humanity has a high preference for degeneracy, for partying, for feeling powerful, for social engagement. And they can find that in Vegas to some sort of degree. In the nightclubs, most of the spenders who come in and spend $50K, $100K, they're just men who want to feel powerful for that time, right? Whether most of them don't have a girlfriend, or they're bringing clients in who they want to seem powerful because they have attractive women around them. They're popping bottles and this kind of like allure. And I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon. To me, it just only seems to be increasing. And then it just moves more from the physical imprint of displaying power to now moving into kind of like the digital world that you see. And I'll mention NFTs again, just because you see these people buying these digital assets for millions of dollars. And it's more just a social flex to show that although your physical appearance isn't displayed online, you're wealthy and you can kind of flaunt this amount of money because of the power that you possess. That's the same, It's the same exact thing that's happening in the nightclubs.